Hello friends, welcome to the online course on non-conventional machining or advanced machining processes. Today I am going to talk about abrasive jet machining. I have divided this topic into two parts. In part 1 we are going to cover introduction about abrasive jet machining, then we are going to see working principle of abrasive jet machining, then what is the mechanism of material removal in abrasive jet machining, and then experimental setup for abrasive jet machining, and then at last we will discuss the different elements of abrasive jet machining system. Okay, this is about the part 1. Now let us start with the first part. As we know that mechanical energy based advanced machining processes or non-conventional machining processes are divided into two parts. One is the machining and second is the finishing. Correct. Now in the machining category there are four types of processes, okay, which includes abrasive jet machining AJM, water jet machining WJM, abrasive water jet machining AWJM, and ultrasonic machining USM. These are the various types of machining processes which comes in the category of mechanical energy based non-conventional machining processes or advanced machining processes. Then there are finishing processes with the help of which we can achieve micro or nano level surface roughness value also. First one is the abrasive flow finishing, or also known as abrasive flow machining also, AFM process. Then second one is magnetic abrasive finishing, MAF. Then third one is the chemomechanical polishing, CMP. Okay. Then fourth one is the magnetorheological finishing, okay, MRF. And the last one is the magnetic float finishing process. Okay, we will discuss most of these processes in this particular course. Also introduction to all these processes will be given in this course. Okay, so now let us discuss how abrasive jet machining works or AGM works. Here you can see, here in this figure, here is a nozzle, okay, through which a mixture of air and abrasive particles is coming out. Okay, in place of air you can have some other gas also. Now here you can see distance between the tip of the nozzle and the workpiece surface, where it is hitting the workpiece surface, or abrasive particles are hitting the workpiece surface. That distance, this distance is known as nozzle tip distance, that is NTD, or it is also known as stand off distance. Okay, SOD, stand off distance. Normally it is written as SOD. Okay, now this air and abrasive particle mixture consists very fine abrasive particles. You can see here, this is a workpiece, correct? This is a workpiece from where material is being removed in the form of crater. Now as we see here on this left side also, in this figure left side, the depth up to which it is penetrated, it is penetrated that it is penetrated that, or I can say abrasive particles have penetrated the workpiece, that is known as crater depth. Okay, so here you can see here crater depth. Okay, and the width to which it is removing the material from the workpiece, that is called crater diameter. Here I have shown, that is called crater diameter or crater width. Okay, I repeat, the width to which it is removing the material from the workpiece, that is called crater diameter or crater width. Normally, depend upon the shape of the nozzle, it can be circular shape, then you will call it as diameter. It can be some other shape, then accordingly you will have to call it as the width of the crater. Now NTD, that is a nozzle tip distance, keeping changing, or I can say decreasing as that crater depth keeps on increasing. As you can see here also, okay, you can see here also, if the jet is hitting the top surface of the workpiece, then you will have to measure this NTD from the top surface. But in this particular case, you can see it has penetrated to a certain depth. So the nozzle tip distance is measured from the depth up to the bottom face of the nozzle, and that is what is known as nozzle tip distance, or I can say stand off distance. Okay, now abrasive jet machining, as we have just seen in brief how does it works. Let us see this abrasive jet. As we know that abrasive jet can consist of inert gas in place of air. You can have some inert gas and fine abrasive particles also as a mixture. The jet at a very high velocity hits the workpiece, and since abrasive particles have certain mass, that is a you can consider as a small m and velocity v, so with I can say kinetic energy 1/2 mu square, that they hit the workpiece surface, and the velocity at which or with which normally this jet, or I can say air average jet moves, is somewhere between the 300 to 500 meter per second. So that is velocity. Okay, at which that abrasive particles along with that carrier gas, I can say, it strike the workpiece. So it has huge amount of kinetic energy. Material removal by the erosion or the chipping action. Okay, it is takes place. Material removal by erosion or chipping action is takes place. Now the question arises. How this erosion action takes place. Kinetic energy of abrasive particles, it converts into the force and erodes the material, okay, from the workpiece. And the kinetic energy of the abrasive particles is given by, we know that formula, 1/2 mu square, where m is the mass of individual particles and v is the velocity with which it is hitting the workpiece surface. Now the another question arises, what kind of operations the abrasive process can perform. Okay, what kind of operations that abrasive process can perform. So it can do various kinds of operations like cutting a piece in two parts or in two pieces, then cleaning, polishing, deburring, then drilling a hole or cutting a different shapes of cavity, also blind cavity or through cavity in the workpiece. Okay, for that purpose or for this operation we can use abrasive jet machining. Now in this particular process, or this particular process is more effective on the hard and or brittle materials as compared to the ductile materials. In case of ductile material, the performance of this process is not that good as in case of brittle and hard material. It can produce fine and complicated, it can produce fine and complicated details also on the workpiece surface. So this is a positive points, or I can say advantages of the abrasive jet machining. Okay, so this is about the how abrasive jet machining works. Okay, now let us discuss mechanism of material removal. Okay, in case of AGM process, abrasive jet machining process. Here is the nozzle. You can see here. Here is the nozzle where you can find air plus fine abrasive particles are coming at a velocity ranging between 300 to 500 meter per second. Now these abrasive particles at high velocity, they come and hit the workpiece. Here is a workpiece, or I can say workpiece surface, as you can see here also. The nozzle diameter, this nozzle diameter normally it is kept between 0.3 to 0.5 mm, and the gap between the bottom of the nozzle and the top surface of the workpiece is normally around 1 mm. That is a stand-up distance or nozzle tip distance, and this is around 1 mm. Now as you can see here, when abrasive particles hit the workpiece with workpiece surface, it fractures. Brittle fractures in the workpiece material takes place if it is brittle and hard also. If it is a ductile material, then deformation of workpiece material takes place. And once this fracture has takes place, and there is a continuous hitting of the abrasive particles thousands and thousands of times per second, then these fractures these fractures these fractures are comes out of the workpiece, okay, workpiece surface, and you get the cavity created over the their surface. Oh, okay, so sometimes it like this. Okay, now there are thousands of such cavity formed on the workpiece surface. So according to the shape of the nozzle exit and the way in which these abrasive particles are hitting, you will get the shape of the cavity on the workpiece surface. Okay, so this here you can see here cavity formed. Okay, now here is the again you can say how the worn out particles from the workpiece that is creating the cavity. Now you can see another thing, that the flaring jet is flaring, and it is as it is coming out of the nozzle. That means the diameter of jet is continuously increasing, so it will depend upon the nozzle tip distance about what is and size of cavity on the workpiece. As you can keep increasing the nozzle tip distance or that stand of distance, the size of cavity will keep increasing, but the depth keeps on decreasing, as I will show in next slide also. Okay, now abrasive particles repeatedly hit on the this workpiece surface to create the desired shape, that is a cavity. Now the cavity width is greater than or equal to the nozzle inner diameter. What is the actual cavity width? It will depend upon the stand up distance or nozzle tip distance. So cavity depth depends on the workpiece material, whatever that feed rate, abrasive abrasive particle mass flow rate, and the pressure also. Okay, so these points are important. Okay, now let us see the experimental setup for the abrasive jet machining. Okay, you can see here also. This is a schematic diagram of abrasive jet machining setup. There are various elements of abrasive jet machining setup, as you can see here in this diagram. Now there is a compressor. You can see here there is a compressor which compresses the air to the desired pressure in the reservoir. Okay, or you can take out the air when there is a high pressure. If you want to reduce the pressure of the air inside the reservoir, then you can use the relief valve. Okay, here I have shown the relief valve. For what purpose? To reduce the pressure. Then drainage is there, which is connected to this reservoir also. Okay, and there is another element which is very important, that is the air filter, and or I can say air filter come dryer. the air which is coming or which is going ahead should be filtered through this air filter, and it is dried also. If it is not dried, then you will not get the good performance in case of this abrasive jet machining process. Here is the pressure gauge then. Okay, here is the pressure gauge with the help of which you can find out the what is the pressure inside the reservoir. There is a opening wall then. This is a opening wall and there is a pressure regulator. Okay, and here is the, in this case you can see abrasive feeder. Okay, here is the abrasive feeder. With the help of this abrasive feeder, you supply the abrasive particles, and there is a inside this there is a mixing chamber itself. Okay, and where now in this mixing chamber, air and abrasive particles, they mix up together. The mixture of air and the abrasive particles comes out, and you can see here, okay, which is coming out of this mixing chamber, that is a mixture of abrasive and air. Now there is a pressure gauge. There is a pressure gauge with the help of which you can measure at what pressure air and abrasive particle jet is coming out. Okay, so this is a pressure gauge, and here is the nozzle. From the nozzle, as we have seen earlier also, the jet of air and abrasive particles comes out and it hits the workpiece. It hits the workpiece surface over here. This distance, as you can see here also, this distance is known as stand-off distance or nozzle tip distance, NTD. Here is the workpiece which is held by the fixture, okay, over there. Now you can see on the this side, okay, left side, there is a mixing, there is a mixture jet of the air and abrasive particles coming in. Okay, now you can see, as this mixture, from this mixture, this air and abrasive particles, it comes, okay, this from left to right, okay, or I can say it goes left as well as right, and then it separate out from the mainstream. Okay, here mainstream. Now this is about the setup of our experimental setup of our abrasive jet machining. Now let us discuss about the elements of abrasive jet machining system. Elements of abrasive jet machining. We can see first element is the gas propulsion system. Gas propulsion system supplies the clean and dry gas to propel abrasive particles. Okay, and this gas may be air or some other gas which should be inert gas. Then you have the compressor. Okay, then we have the compressor or the cylinder which is filled with the gas, because compressed air has to be filled somewhere in the reservoir. For that purpose, you can use the cylinder also. Now if you are having, or if you are using other than air, you can use some other gases also, but those gases should be non-toxic in nature, cheap and easy available, not and it should not have excess spreading or divergence. Otherwise the size of the cavity that you are forming on the workpiece surface will be difficult to control. Okay, so that point we have to take into the account. Now second element of the agent system is abrasive feeder. Now abrasive feeder, with the help of vibratory mechanism, as I just mentioned, you can control the quantity with the help of vibration. Okay, then third is the machining chamber. It is closed so that abrasive particle content in the environment is below the harmful limit, and this is very important. We should always keep the machining chamber closer so that fine abrasive particles do not spread in the environment. Otherwise they will be very harmful to the operator and the people standing nearby to the this abrasive jet machining setup. And there should be vacuum duster collector attached to the machining chamber, so that you know just particles etc they are collected and they are put out of the machining chamber. Now then, next element is the abrasive jet machining nozzle. The material for the abrasive jet machining nozzle normally used is tungsten carbide or sapphire. Okay, if sapphire is used in general, you can get the reasonably good life of the sapphire nozzle, that is around 3000 around 3000 hours. The shape of the nozzle can be circular, it can be rectangular, it can be rectangular or other cross section. It depends upon the designer of the nozzle and the requirement of the workpiece. Nozzle pressure normally ranges between 2 kg per centimeter square, but the actual value to be used, it's depend upon the workpiece material that you are machining and the required material removal rate, that is MRR. Now, by increased aware of nozzle, it leads to the straight cutting and higher inaccuracy. So that point we have to take care. Okay. Now there are the various types of abrasives available, which are used in abrasive jet machining, just like alumina, Al2O3, then silica or silicon carbide, SiC, glass beads, then sodium bicarbonates, okay, etc. Now selection of right kind of abrasive particle for this AGM process, it's depend upon the workpiece material properties, then MRR that you require and the accuracy that you want. Now among these, Al2O3, alumina or sodium and sodium bicarbonate, they are normally preferred for the cleaning of the cleaning the workpiece surface, for cutting, for deburring, okay, etc. Now silicon carbide is normally used for the harder material as compared to the alumina. Glass beads are good for the matte finish, okay, and the size of the abrasive particles normally used is 10 to 15 micron size, and the small size abrasive particles are good for cleaning and polishing or finishing purposes, okay, and the large size particles, abrasive particles, are good for the cutting because they can give higher material removal rate or MRR as compared to the small size abrasive particles, okay. Now the reuse of the abrasive particles is normally not recommended for the simple reason that they get contamination with the chips, okay. So these abrasive particles, they get contaminated with the materials that has been removed from the workpiece, and you cannot easily remove or separate out the workpiece material. So what will happen, this contamination may block the nozzle passage, and if it is able to block the nozzle passage, then nozzle will break. This will get damaged, and it will get damaged, that nozzle will get damaged, and it is very expensive. Secondly, if the abrasive particles get contaminated with the chips removed from the workpiece surface or workpiece material, then the cutting ability of the abrasive particles reduces. This one also important. And the third one, the abrasive particles are not very expensive, so one can easily afford not to reuse the abrasive particle in the AGM system, okay. So this is about the abrasive. Now let us discuss about the, or I will tell just about the which types of, or various types of work material that can be machined using the AGM process. Okay, so using this abrasive jet machining, you can you can uh, process for the, or you can use this process for machining of the brittle and fragile materials. This agent process is good for brittle or fragile materials. Okay, it is not so effective or uh, not so good for ductile materials, although it can be used for ductile materials, but it will give you lower MRR, material removal rate. Now, theoretical calculation of MRR in case of AGM is also important, and different researchers have proposed different models separately for ductile materials and the brittle materials. That part we are going to discuss later on. Okay, so this is about the abrasive jet machining. Now for this my lecture, I have referred this book. Okay, so remaining part about this abrasive jet machining we are going to discuss in next lecture. Okay, thank you very much.
Hopefully you might have enjoyed the lecture. Then please do like the video and know your thoughts in comments. Please do share this video among your friends and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. After subscription you can press the bell icon to never miss the notification regarding our new videos. Thank you so much.